bow, 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 bow. It is a Monday. It is the. Hold on, I need to get the guy who's gonna tell us the dates. The person who's what do they call? Well, you pandemic. Let me get him on. He knows these things. What do they call it when you are a stickler for something?
I don't know, but hi, hello, how are you? The date is the 29th of July. Yes.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, the 29th of July. What it do? Sino in the building. How are you
Good,
doing?
brother.
How are you doing?
Good, good. Let's put food.
I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's been a
It's
while.
been a
Like,
minute.
I
It's
haven't
been
seen you
busy.
in like a few weeks. I couldn't join last week, unfortunately. Not last week, the 2 weeks prior.
Do you mind sharing with us what happened there?
I couldn't join Caesar, so I had a little issue on of my own that disallowed me to join in order to keep the quality of the Slyso TV podcast and to keep.
Okay, Talib. Speaking of which, man, speaking of Talib, there's a lot of fat stuff going on today, this evening on the podcast. And by the way, asibulisanga nabantu, like guys, like good evening, how y'all doing?
Molweni Ninjani, how are you over there and over there and over there?
And over there. Man, it's a very beautiful Monday. It's full of nerves. It's also full of excitement. We finally bring a lady onto the helm. Like August is Kelly telling that this is the whole time. So those are some news
It is
that
the
are coming.
order because we've been out of order.
We've been out of order, comrade.
Given that we've been out of order for so long, it was about time that we had some. And Caesar and I are not necessarily the most handsome men, but we have some beauty coming.
Speak for yourself, Negro. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
The audience can tell us, Caesar, by the way. I mean, I know you're cute and all, but you know what I'm saying?
I was scheming on, though. I was scheming. It's a good one, man. It's a Monday to everybody who's watching. Welcome to it. It is the Slyso TV podcast. We are on episode numero.
Right there.
Episode 8, and we're moving rapidly in terms of our growth, in terms of what we set ourselves to do. So this evening, we introduce a new feature on the show. It's called
a new member.
I think that's about time. Like I can see there, she even doing like all the funky dances. Like it's time to bring her on. But ladies and gentlemen, if you go to our social media platforms, if you've been looking at our posts, we've been trying to make sure that we say less in terms of introducing who she is. Roundabout now, ladies and gents, in the building. Hello, Mama.
Let me do my, the bullies are not in the princess, your Royal house, and just my greetings.
Wow. Thobeka Msengana, professional counseling psychologist.
You got it right.
Yes. Yeah. You do a lot. I looked at the profile, right, and I was like, yo, I've never seen a person who does so much. Where does she find the time? And if you follow her on TikTok as well, gym accounts, I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Hey? Don't you think like how can you do
so
much? You can't just do all at once.
Give credit to a woman who is just doing the most. Just any woman
fabulously so.
The ladies when it comes to multitasking, doing multiple things at the same time.
Oh yeah, that thing. Are you good? Are you any good in it when I read?
At multitasking.
Multitasking.
Way better than my partner, I can tell you that much. I can talk to you on the phone, and I know I'm very
Nigga,
good
that's
at
not
that thing.
multitasking. Apparently, phone prior.
Of course I can.
What
When
I'm
you're
talking
right
about.
here and I'm crying, don't answer the phone and continue crying and I open the gate for you.
No, we will not.
Wow.
We will disregard
Does that
that.
qualify? Let's ask somebody who's qualified,
No,
actually.
please, let's not. No,
Okay,
no,
I
no.
will speak for myself, not men. I can multitask.
Okay,
Very
because
well
you
at that
identify
too.
as a man. Oh, you identify as a white, just a multitasker.
I identify as Sister Ndumo who can multitask.
Oh gosh. We're gonna have to
Great.
redefine about multitasking. What is it about exactly?
Yeah. Before we go any
You
further,
educate us,
guys.
I guess.
Before we go any further, before anything happens, I just want us to get on what's going on as far as the country is concerned. There's a lot. Yo, man, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's the Miss SA.
Oh, the saga there, the controversy around.
Can we talk about that for a minute, please?
Talk about it.
Can we? So here's my logic to it, right? Apparently, and I'll say apparently, by the way, her mother was born in South Africa, but to Mozambican parents. So both her mother's mother and her mother's father are Mozambican.
Okay.
She, the mother, was born here. Right?
Just run that
Meaning
by
that
me,
she
bro.
is a Mozambican who's born in South Africa. Fine. The father, I believe, is Nigerian. Now, if math serves me right, that means both parents are non-South African, regardless of the mother being born here to Mozambican parents.
Sure.
So that being said, is where I understand where the questioning and also, I don't know if you saw on TikTok, her profile, she had the Nigerian and then the Mozambican flags under her TikTok profile. Scrutiny came and she removed that. So even she herself has not been identifying as a South African. But now I guess it suits her. So it's a big question. Why should she? If she all along had never identified as one of us, it always suited her to being exotic, being a Mozambican, being Nigerian. And then why does she care to be a Miss SA? Why not be a Miss Mozambique or be a Miss Nigeria? I'm sure she'd win Nigeria. Sure, I've been there, man. She's a very hot girl for Nigerian standards. Trust me. I've been to Nigeria.
Look at it, man. I think
plenty
she
of
would
times.
She would win.
I mean, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. That's not a question. But the question for me is, itini criteria to be a citizen? For one to consider themselves South African, does she qualify in terms?
So I believe one of your parents have to be South African, then you will qualify immediately. But if neither of them are, there's an application process, I believe, which takes some time, and then you'll be eventually neutralized. I could be mistaken, but I remember there was even a story last year, some Zimbabwean parents who wanted to issue an ID for their child. Because in the ID it will say born wherever, and so if you're not South African. And they wanted to get their child to be a South African citizen. It helps for come matric exams to get an ID number so they can. It is more about that. They wanted to do this at 16, I believe, and they lost the case. That was just last year.
So the question
where parents were both non-South
where
African.
was she born? Where is the contestant born? Was she born in South Africa or not?
She's born in South Africa.
Okay.
So being born here, I don't think automatically qualifies you. Because if that was the case, we'd have a very big problem.
I think that's the conversation, that she was born here. Does she not then mean
but she was born here to both parents being non-South African.
Okay.
Where the question.
It kind of like brings me when I think there's this one as well where people were comparing her to Trevor Noah. And obviously Trevor Noah's mom being a South African and his father being French, I think,
He's South African. The mother's from here.
The mother's from here. So that is a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm trying to understand the bone of contention here. It's
The
the
bone of
parent. It's
contention here
it's
is
the
that neither of her
parents.
parents
Yeah.
are South
The
African.
parents are
Um,
not South African, and now the issue is that this is not Miss Africa. This is Miss South Africa. So
Miss South Africa.
we are
Mm,
confused about how does she qualify? And I think that's what the arguing is about, right? The
mm.
controversy.
Well, one thing I know though is they say that like we need to put heads together in order for us to come up to some form of moving forward.
Mm,
I know that we've got scores and scores of people who are watching us.
yeah,
So we have a comment section.
yeah,
So if you are watching us on YouTube, you can go into comments and probably share your views. We will screen them so that other people are able to, so that we are able to hear. It's a conversation. This
yeah.
is our home. We are inviting you. It's a pity we don't have coffee and stuff for you right now, but that's basically what it is. We want to hear from people that are actually
That's
watching
what,
as well, South Africans. It's like, what's your bone of contention? Because
yeah,
there are all these things that are being thrown around, out. The fact that like she can't speak the language,
So
so.
seriously, my train of thought goes to, if they allow this, whether a person is a political
oh, Kosim.
refugee or whether a person is whatever they are,
Mm,
but they come here and have children here, those children being automatically South Africans, may we may find ourselves in a problem come 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. So I think we
mm,
have to somehow or another nip this in the bud, get conclusion, what
Yeah,
cannot be done. And
yeah,
let's say you are permanent residents and you are working in South Africa, and you and your wife, or you come first, your wife follows later, and you are been here for 10 years, you happen to have a child here,
mm,
the same process for like a green card in the US. How do you start applying so that your
mm,
offspring that you have in this country, you raise in this country, that
mm,
go to school in this country, can
mm.
become part of? Because let's be honest, you being an expat working here, you're paying taxes, you're adding value to the
Oh,
country
to the
on the
economy,
bigger
yeah.
scheme of the
yeah,
GDP and so forth. So
100%.
there has to be maybe a qualifying board, level one, level two, so forth,
Yes.
type sort of thing, to get to better levels of the qualification. Because in the
Yeah.
Isn't
US,
it? Mm.
strange thing in the US though, if your child is born there, automatically you are. That's why I have a friend, for example, who's Nigerian. His wife is from Botswana, and all the two kids have been born in the US and have a US passport, and like she travels
Are they
there all
citizens?
like 6 months pregnant, almost hiding the stomach type situation. True story.
Yeah.
Mm.
His sisters live there, the Nigerian guy. So they go and live there for 3 months, have the child there. The child is born there, and they have US citizenship by virtue of birth. US has that. It's a
Yeah,
problem
Wow.
for
yeah,
them.
I heard that America, they're very strict. They check, Bana, you are not pregnant when you're coming there. They want to make sure that you fall pregnant while
Because
you
if
are
you have a child on their
So
soil,
they've got doctors at JFK.
yes, they make sure. So you must be pregnant while you're there, and then of course get automatically citizenship. They are American. But if you come with your child from another country, they cannot then be called American.
American.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of like speaks to, I don't know whether I'll be moving very fast. Kind of like speaks to Trump. Um,
yeah.
because there's one thing that guy did, and I think that's part of the reason why Americans fell in love with him. He was like, we're gonna create this big wall that separates us from people that come from other countries, and he was all about the United States, and I think it's
Yeah.
one of those things I predicted when he
Yes.
during his first term of presidency, where he came, I mean, like even to places like South Africa and said, General Motors South Africa is leaving. You know, American companies are going back to America so they can create jobs for um, for Americans. So he is like a true patriot. You kind of like understand why he is so loved by people. But like I feel like every country has its issue or issues when it comes to the people migrating for whatever reason. And I think right where we are as a South Africa, a lot of people, it kind of like reminds me of what somebody said when the EFF was going on about open borders and stuff. And it was a professor from, I think, from Wits. I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
And it was saying like if you are to look at it sensibly,
Mm.
South Africans need themselves. They need to, after these 30 years, because if you're going to take a country like Ghana, for an example, Ghana had freedom in 1952, 58, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. So these guys have had freedom for so long, and the thing is like now we have an influx of people coming into South Africa for opportunities, and these are people to an extent who've messed up their country or who've allowed leaders to mess up their country, and as South Africans we need to. So I think it was defending the whole xenophobic tag.
Sure.
I'm getting
Sure.
a bit of feedback somewhere
Sure.
from one of us, but like that's what he was saying,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can
a
hear that too as
conversation. I
well.
mean,
Somebody's mic is something,
yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, we're still waiting for you to, as a viewer, to share your sentiments, man, as well. It's everybody's been talking about it for the longest time ever. Miss South Africa this, Miss South Africa this. And by the way, this thing, I learned that it was founded in 1950, 1953. Miss South Africa. So the rules, I'm sure they kept changing because if it was founded, it's probably like I think about 81 years now. And I'm thinking to myself that like when it started, it literally excluded black people.
Yes. Yes.
Of course it
Yes.
did.
So
That's why
over
Jackie Mofokeng was a big one, winning being the first black. Uh, is that how old I am? I know Jackie Mofokeng. Wow. Okay.
I didn't want to be the one who's
And
I
I'm
was like
lost. I'm here like,
I was like, "Ngubani kanene Jackie?"
Yeah, I'm sure when I told was Basatan. No, there was a Jackie Mofokeng.
yes, yes, none of us.
Nah, there's Jackie Mofokeng,
I was
who was the
like, Jackie
first
who?
black.
Jackie what?
Jackie Mofokeng.
But
But
I
guys,
think
moving.
so. I think it's an issue of it's an opportunity for black people to get some kind of Zatina, some kind of opportunity to make money. So young people in South Africa are desperate to get opportunities like this to
Mm.
get a seat on the table. So I think the lab protection that comes with it's another opportunity that we must share with others. But to see. Sisalambile, man.
And you know what you're saying in terms of opportunities as well. If you look at Miss South Africa, you need somebody who has. We have 12 official languages in South Africa. We need someone who's going to be an ambassador for that. You take a look at one of my favorite music personalities currently, Umakadzi, for a
Mm.
girl who speaks broken English, who
What
allegedly
is
gets
broken
money.
English, Caesar, by the way?
Yeah,
What is broken English?
I'm speaking in the South African context. If you want me, like it is.
Kalapi nonsense. Calling it broken English. She's speaking English at the best of her
Lakini
ability.
not going,
Okay, Malti. Okay.
rules.
Jeez.
Follow with the rules.
Yeah. Grammar challenged
Yeah, no.
English. Yeah.
Speaking
Does it sound
English to the
better?
best of her ability. She
Does that
probably
sound
speaks it
better?
better than Putin.
Of course. Hence
That's
it's
true.
broken.
I'm not arguing with that, but like that's just one out of the many that we could be
She
talking
speaks
about.
English better
Then
than
again,
Lionel Messi.
but then again, Lisa, even that argument, if you look at it, should there be a South African at her age that is speaking English to the best of her ability rather than to speak within the confines the constructs of the language in South Africa? I'm not
Yeah,
saying it don't matter, like she should speak the best, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because English has been like, well,
I guess where you
primary.
were going, Slyso, you were trying to demonstrate to Bana, but she can speak other languages. She can relate to,
That's
even
what
though
I'm.
she's still in Bobo, she can relate to Amaxhosa, Amazulu, because she has that understanding of different cultures. So, do we not need a South African who is also very like culture competent? That's what we're really asking.
I think
Thank
another
you.
problem is
Thank you,
that
Toto.
English
This
has
this what
been.
happens. This is why you need a professional around your space. Yes.
I also
You
think
can continue, Zizi.
another problem when I see is that English has been championed as the language so much that people are even afraid to ask for a translator. Hence, now in Parliament, there are people doing their swearing-ins in their languages. I love that, by the way, the swearing in the Parliament, where someone to speak Afrikaans, someone to speak Zulu, someone to, because we are 12 languages after all. So, but English has been championed so much that one even questions their intelligence purely
Yes.
based on their English ability, which is nonsense. You can never
The,
measure
the,
intelligence on how well you can speak a language.
that is, I think, in one of the episodes. This is a part of what you and I were talking about. We spoke about it at length. The fact that, like, in 30 years, primary education in South Africa, and I said, starting from Minister Bengu, who was the first minister in 1994 of education, to go on to whoever came after that, in terms of fixing the curriculum in South Africa for it to speak to where South Africa is. Are you a country that should be going the commerce route, chasing markets and all kinds of stuff, or should you still be an industrialized a country that pays attention to rewarding skills than to educate people who can memorize and go write a paper? This has not changed. So these are some of the challenges that are out there. Like I feel like in our country, and I think that's why people are gonna feel hard done by. That's why people are going to poke fun at people like Olandika Omakadzi, but
Yeah.
well within their rights, and not forgetting we're talking about Miss South Africa, who does a contestant rather, who cannot speak a single South African language. Who, if you can't speak a single South African language,
Well, not true. She can speak English.
which custom or I'll get the fuck out of here, man.
It is part of the 12 languages, though. Technically speaking, she can speak one.
I'm over you, man. I'm over your ass. I'm over your
You know
ass.
what?
We have a lady, we have a queen in the house. I think it's time that you led this conversation. My God.
I mean, I can definitely understand where it's the fear
Caesar.
and it's the anxiety that people are expressing. It's the frustration. Ubana, look, are we going to now be asked Ubana Slyso song, and we are so many in South Africa, and we just
There's so
want
many of us.
a piece a little bit, sis enjoy sisafunda nje singaba lapha ekhapha
Because
enjoy.
Futelan.
Uyaqonda?
Because
Then ke
Futelan.
sawunikiza ke bakwethu xa sesiready, you can come and share. But I think it's just it speaks to the current the current economic frustration that people have, so of course there's going to be backlash when we are talking about any kind of opportunity that we must share with people from outside.
True that.
Yeah, guys, I think we've exhausted this one, and believe you me, as we had discussed in our pre-production, that we probably will definitely run out of time, but we don't want to miss the time where the feature starts at 30:30. So this means that, like, with everything else that we I had prepared, I mean, like, there's Dales, who suffered a stroke on Friday on his birthday.
That's my boy, by the way, man. That's like a friend of mine. Like I'm so touched by that.
You North gods.
The North God. I'm not a North God. He is a North God. I'm from Peace. Cannot be north of anything in Johannesburg, by the way.
And I'm going to North ngezwide.
This video actually like the other in north or south or west or east, but it's somewhere. But Oksala is yeah, man. That's so. Yeah, apparently he got a stroke on Friday. He's in hospital. We don't know much. They did the immediate press release from the family. Came out yesterday stating that he's in hospital. they're not saying much. They're not saying he's stable, whether he's gonna make it or he's gonna come out, what. But bottom line is that clearly there's fears. I mean, the only people
Yeah.
do press releases only if there's some element of fear, and
There
that
is
at
something
least
that,
they got
yeah,
to tell the
that needs
audience,
monitoring.
his
Yeah,
fans, that
true.
a certain thing. So I think fear is the only thing, because Friday to only release on Sunday mean that something. I'm speculating, by the way, that
Yeah,
something may
yeah.
have happened between Friday till Sunday for them on Sunday to say, "Hey, we gotta say something." Or sometimes PR
Yeah,
people
man.
like to get ahead of the rumors and like put it there because it's the whole weekend. Maybe people have seen us here in hospital.
I'm gonna be
Maybe people have
speculating,
so
and yeah.
there's two reasons. That's yeah. He's in our prayers. Hopefully he's young, man. I mean, Les, I think only just turned 40 like the other day. Like
That's
literally,
crazy.
like he's only 40, 41 maximum. But he's young.
But just very quickly, like our lifestyles, the way we live our lives, like I'm gonna say personally for me, we chat every now and then. No, we're not friends. We are colleagues. In the bigger spectrum, or Robert Marawa. Moments like for a young person like that to have suffered, like multiple heart attacks and stuff. And like what's the cause? Is it like probably stress? Is it you know diet? Is people always like thinking something is going on? And I think like a lot of people found a crutch with COVID-19 because there were all the what do you call it, the side effects from the
My hand is
vaccine.
up, Principal.
Yes, sir, let's hear you.
My hand is up, Principal.
Yes, Zizi, the floor is all yours.
One needs to investigate the food we eat, what Woolworths, Pick and Pay, Checkers, all of them put into our foods. Children who have parents who are 1.7 meter tall, both, are giving birth to children who are now 1.8 meters at the age of 16. It's in the food. Promise you, nothing makes more sense than that. Woolies food, all these foods, because it's almost naturally impossible. 1.7 meter tata, 168 mama, 1.8 at 16. It's in the food. Trust me. No one is talking about it. Investigate it, look into it, because the only thing that you can equate that they are having that we do not have is the food they're eating today.
Yeah.
Promise you.
Look,
Wow.
I mean, it's also stress, being an artist, we must talk about, like you said, it's like, this is
Do not have
COVID-19 and,
what stress do they have, Tom?
I mean,
Why
no, no,
why do I have a
what's stress now?
16-year-old daughter who's almost hitting her head against the door when I'm 1.78? Like, explain to me.
Stress to the
Caesar.
body, because that age is actually quite young to be having a child. So stress to the body as well. The body is not ready to be
Mm.
carrying,
No,
a
no, they're
child.
not carrying a child. I'm asking, why are they 1.8 meters in height when parents are 1.7, both of them? Genetically speaking, they
You know,
shouldn't reach those heights. It's in the
well,
food.
it
So the food, I'm taking it
could be a
to
lot of
people who in their
things.
40s are having strokes, heart conditions at 35. Why?
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
Nigga,
What we eating?
I'd go for a damn DNA test. If I'm this tall, if I'm this tall and you come home with a midget from the hospital, nigga, we going to speak to some doctors. We speaking to
So
some.
we need research on the food, but I'm saying, Zizi, that it's stress. Artists are going through a lot after COVID-19. I
We
think
are all
people,
going through stress.
everybody. But I think it's I mean it's how we handle it. We handle it differently. We cope
Yeah,
with it.
true that.
What do
True
we
that.
do in order to cope? Some people just cannot find
Mm,
healthy ways to manage and cope with stress, unfortunately. And
mm.
unfortunately, also, industry, lifestyle, I mean, is not the best. So, and because you're young, you think, well, I still have time. I can take off myself later on. And then you don't realize, but at 40, all of that stuff is going to come back at you.
It's just coming back quicker, hey? Because like another thing, because we're running out of time now. We should have we like we just gonna switch the music review and do it after Tobbs's feature. We cannot. We're starting this today, but like there's so much to talk about, and still waiting for whoever is watching us right now. Whatever opinions you have, this is our home. We are just facilitators. It's only the first time that we actually have a professional person that actually is going to speak professionally about what we go through, because we're talking about these food issues. We're talking about these alleged xenophobic like attacks on people from other countries. We're talking about Libyans, 95 of them that are in the country in some camp. We're talking about the two freaking
95.
There's a lot going on there. Like I also just feel like the episode is just not, gonna be long enough for us to do. But like we leave all of that stuff like for afterwards. There's a 2 billion farm, a 2 billion rands worth of a farm operation, actually, not the farm. They're manufacturing drugs, and they've got like Mexican nationals in there. So we all of the stuff that we are talking about, we're talking drug abuse, we're talking stress for parents, we're talking the herald in Gqeberha. Every day there's a crime story between the first and the second page, so we've got somebody that probably can shed light into what the hell is going on in South Africa. I think just with us as people as well. And I think it's time for us to start to go there officially, with your permission, of course. Ian?
Pardon?
Give up on your dreams, don't give up on yourself. It can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course. Hey man, hey, here we are. It's just an exciting time to be part of, this podcast. I'm so excited. And I thought, and I'm trying to really, it's introductions, get to see Ababudi, what exactly are they on about? What are they, what's going on here? So really for me, it's been an exciting time to be part of such a journey. Really, I think it's for me it's a journey, and to have our viewers join us in this new chapter of the podcast, the Slyso podcast TV, to join us on this mental health segment, and be part of a journey of healing, be part of a journey of self-discovery, or learning and relearning, because there are existing knowledges, so we do have some knowledges, but it's about also reminding yourself about these things. But the exciting part for me, Cesar and Sly, about this Momo sessions and this feature really is the fact that we're spotlighting mental health. And really, mental health is actually cutting across all aspects of our lives, right? All areas of our lives are affected. Mental health is part of that. So we need to start putting it at the top of the agenda in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in our social spaces. And because if you're not mentally okay, really, you can't be productive. You can't be, you can't actually achieve what you set out to achieve, whatever that may be in life. So for me, it's just to be really, I'm honored for this opportunity to just be part of this. I think it's a legendary podcast. Just exciting. Just exciting. But I want to just say to our viewers that I want to invite them to come and share their experiences with us, their day-to-day experiences, and what are the things that they are kind of like struggling with that impact their mental health. Share your stories with us. We're here to also talk about conversations that we might not really talk about with our partners, our friends, with our families. Talk about the hard conversations. Let's have a candid conversation, and see, what are we going to come up with, and hopefully we will find some healing, because at the end of the day, I think we're all carrying some kind of wound, right? And so we're looking for healing, and this is a safe space for all of us to engage on mental health content, and just really embrace one another, and journey together. Yeah, that's my idea, and that's my thinking around this, and to just see sibacele bahambe nathi, man, if you
Yeah.
ask, and be here with us. Um, yeah. So for me, really, it's one of the things that I was thinking about, Sly and Sisa, is that why is mental health a priority? People struggle to understand why mental health such a big deal, Kona, these days. Why does it matter? I mean, and as much as cookie hype around it in social media, and in just in general now, there's still quite a lot of stigma, actually, around mental health. There's still quite a lot of miseducation, misunderstanding, misconceptions around who can actually experience mental health issues or mental illness. you know, in depression, yeah, there's also those kind of myths. We're treating now, we don't we don't go through such. It's for people that have noko amachangura, therapy. Aye, it's for certain individuals. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to unpack those things, and we're going to look at, what exactly are we talking about when we're talking about mental health, and why should it be a priority for you, for me, for all of us, for our families, for our friends. Yeah, that's just my thinking, and I thought, Tuguti, the interesting thing that I wanted to share specifically today is the fact that if Maslow, right, one of the famous theorists, psychological theorists, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is one of the well-known theories, right? He talks about, in order for us to be mentally well, to be mentally fit, there are certain aspects of wellness that needs to be taken care of. He talks about, the first one is basic needs, right? And I'll make an example. He says, for example, food is a basic need that needs to be met for someone to be mentally well. So if I'm hungry, if I'm struggling to make means to meet my basic needs, my mental health is going to be compromised, right? And so that's why mental health is important. And that part in your basic needs reminds me of a story. Salasisi, at some point, I can't remember, in the Eastern Cape, because of struggling to provide for abantwana bakhe, waenda apha ebulala abantwana ezibulala naye. And that's why mental health is important, because essentially when we are not taking care of our basic needs and our mental health gets compromised, we'll have izitori ezilohlobo tragic like that, right? And then there's another aspect to this, to Maslow. Okay, so then once we've had our basic needs, security is important. We look at, safety and security. We all need that. That sense of security. In your house, you want to feel comfortable. At any point in time, who's up, get attacked. And that also directly impacts your mental health. So meaning, therefore, if I'm not feeling safe in my environment, that is my community, elokshini or ekaya, my mental health is going to be compromised. Which comes to issues of safety and security must be prioritized, by government, by abahlali, we communities, making sure in a criminal element, they are dealt with immediately, because it will definitely impact people's mental health. And then you talk about another level which speaks to individuals now, esteem, self-esteem. Umaslo Uti, in order for your mental health to also be intact, and if you make sure that your level of confidence is good, that is, you have an understanding, or you can achieve certain things, and you're productive, and you do or you think clearly, okay, you will feel very good about yourself. But if your mental health is affected, your self-esteem is very low. you are likely to not achieve your goals. You're likely to not have the energy. You're likely to doubt yourself. So
Can I ask
again,
a question about that, by the way?
sure, go
About
ahead.
your. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to break. So, are you saying that mental health has a direct correlation to behavior?
Yes, 100%.
So, if you're not feeling safety, so people, so it's not a matter of being weak if you commit suicide. It's not a matter of
No,
being. It's
no.
it has mental health has a direct correlation to your
Yeah.
behavior, your actions, what you choose to do or
Yes.
not to do. Please
Yeah.
continue on the Maslow. I just wanted to be
Yeah.
clear on that. Yeah.
So, Azteka, gang, sense of love and esteem, right? We're talking about, sorry, the esteem part talks about your level of confidence, your ability to perform, us being able to come here confidently and speak, right? But if your mental health is affected, you are likely not going to show up. Sister, I'm not going to show up because I won't have the confidence in myself, right? I won't have the energy to even come and be ready to just have a conversation with you. And that's how much our mental health really is essential for our being, our day-to-day living. And then he talks about belonging. He says that we all want to belong. We all are born with this innate sense that we want to connect with individuals, your family, your friends, and he says that when those relationships are compromised, your mental health is going to be affected. I mean, look at social media. Look at social media. How many people are talking? Podcast relationships. And that tells you as well that those relationships, when they are not going well, our mental health is compromised, right? How many times have you not felt like going to work or just working on a particular project because
Procrastinating.
you're dealing
You're
with something
overthinking.
you understand who affected. And then the last one is about actualizing, self-actualization. And then he says, in order for us to self-actualize, which is for us to find meaning in our lives, in our journey of life, for us to feel like we have purpose, all of these aspects and this layer, they need to be in harmony. They need to be intact, and our mental health across all these areas needs to be intact. Then we can self-actualize. That means then I can live a life that I feel, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be living for. And if those things are affected negatively, your mental health is affected negatively, life is essentially meaningless. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it for today.
Wow. Did you learn something, Negro? Did you learn something? Did you learn something? That's like watching a
Wow.
professional. It's like watching a professional at work, like Messi or Ronaldo, messing with the ball, because it's football. We watch it from our couches, but we're like, "Ikabe yenza so." This is what we want. We
Yeah,
want a goal, and you are
yeah,
bringing all of these aspects and actually just connecting them with humanity, basically, with
yeah,
who we are as humans, as we try to navigate our way through this thing called life, and
yeah,
tall kids that are out of hand.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. Wow.
So, like, it's mental health. I think has come into the forefront of our everyday lives, especially when we were hit with COVID. And there were people who had like home anxiety of not being able to walk out their homes, having to
yes,
wear these masks
yeah,
and all these things, and then so I'll give you an example
yeah,
in my world. So
yeah,
when COVID came about in my world of distribution of content, selling to broadcasters, the COVID broke down. We all have to stay home. We think, great, boom, we are gonna sell the shit out of the movies we have to
Yeah.
broadcasters because everyone's gonna be at home, right?
yes,
As I say it, the buyers from the broadcasters are calling me asking for content. Cool, we want, right? So I start compiling things and I pitch to various of them. A week passes, 2 weeks pass, 3 weeks pass, a month passes. What's going on? They didn't realize that their budget comes from advertising, right? Advertising of goods on shelf. Advertising of goods on shelf are not being bought. So, meaning the sales have dropped. First budget to be cut is marketing. All of a sudden, they can't buy ads. All of a sudden, the broadcaster can't buy what they want. The ripple effect. I made an example of the broadcasting part of it to say that the mental health of it was that at first, I'm going to chill at home for a while. I go mind. I'm going to be online. Then you are a salesperson. Now all of a sudden you can't sell anymore. So your income is reduced. You can't even do anything about it.
Yeah, because
you can't. And then the company then says people have to take pay cuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
people had to lose jobs.
And then from pay cuts it moves to in literally a journey of joy of chilling to whoop, drastically going down. So you went from a happy space to a very unhappy space in a period of 3-4 months. Because the immediate happiness was, I can wake up at 9.
Freedom.
I can wake up at time, freedom. And then you realize, oh shit, your freedom is limited. You can't walk outside your gate.
You can't go to the beach.
You can't do. So it went from like almost like a face that is smiling to the smile going down to a straight face to an unhappy face. Now I'm almost certain that the chemical balance in our brain, the nutrients that need for us to function, become affected by this, which is what the journey of I'm assuming mental health goes through. All those things literally like start shooting in your brain. You start guessing. Your friends are being let go. You not yet. You're waiting for your turn to be let go. That anxiety.
Stress levels are high. Stress levels are high. And remember, when your body releases too much stress hormone, of course it's going to impact your mood, and your mood is going to be on the slump.
Please tell us more about the stress hormones.
You're not serotonin. That's what it's called, right? The stress hormone.
Called what? Sorry.
Serotonin is what they call a stress hormone.
Yeah.
And so basically, this is neuro
stuff. Write that shit down so you don't forget.
And so basically, they say that when you get into stress mode, your body will produce more of that hormone, right? And you need to be mindful of the fact that your brain naturally, when it gets into stress mode, it produces more of this, and that's not good because it keeps you locked into that stress mode. Which is what will have an impact on your mood, So I'm going distressed, and I'm just not feeling excited anymore. And
it can also factor your physical health, right?
Yes, yeah. And so from the mental part, which is why mental health is such a fascinating field for me, because it's from your mental. Remember, it's from your brain. Neurologists will explain it, and then it comes to your emotions. You feel it. And then from feeling it, you will behave a certain way. So now I'm stressed. What do I want to do? I want to go sleep because I don't have energy. Then it's a cycle, The next day again, stressed. Then what do I want to do? Oh, too frustrated. Maybe now I'm snapping at my wife. Maybe I'm snapping at my husband. I'm snapping at my kids. It's because of this emotion that I'm feeling. I'm behaving a certain way. And the gramping
And this is all about the stress thing that's exploding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so there's a whole science around just how our brain functions, and how our brain produces certain hormones that will make us feel certain emotions. Even the happy emotion, also the brain produces that, and we gotta be mindful of what helps us to produce that happy hormone in our brain. And if you are aware, then you will do things that will help you to actually have this produce a bit more. So brain on its own is just that's a fascinating, fascinating. We can
It's a
talk about
crazy thing, man.
Yeah, so
It's
people who kill themselves are not weak. They
no.
kill themselves because they're mentally unstable.
The mental health is compromised. I don't
I
want
like
to
that
say
term.
unstable because remember, even myself, as stable as I am, something could just flip because that's how quick
Mm.
mental health is. Something could just flip, and then suddenly I'm not coping with this particular situation, and then I just don't see any possibility of me getting out of this. And so, is suicide the only option for me at that particular point in
At
time.
that particular
but
time.
but I wasn't unstable. See, sir, I wasn't unstable. It's just that
Because there's been a stigma
Oh,
instability and
yeah,
selfishness to commit suicide. And I'm like,
yeah.
the older I'm getting, I'm like,
crazy.
I don't think people do it because
Don't
they
have,
leave people behind. They're not okay mentally.
look. Have you? I always say, have you had in your life a situation where you just felt, Ubana, you are so overwhelmed, you can't breathe, you can literally feel your body. In that you could
Mm.
suffocate. You are particularly stressed about something. It could be something very important, but you are just not getting, to the right point about this situation. And for Mansba, and work at this thing, right? And if that you don't get out of that stress mode, it can lead you to that suicidal mentality in that moment. But
So,
what is helpful for other people is that they are able to get themselves out of that mode, you know
mm.
yeah.
Toto, like, I just wanted. I mean, like, this is our first episode, and I'm sure it's probably overwhelming for even our viewers at this point in time because
For
they did not
us,
know what. I mean, like, it is for me. Like, I don't keep quiet. I get paid for talking, but like throughout this session, I am listening, and I am actually kind of like self-diagnosing
Mm,
and going through my emotions and the fact that
mm,
like Zizi, there was a time we went to Rosebank Mall quickly, right?
yeah.
And we had to wait and going up the escalators, and we had to wait at the store as well. And you are like, you know what, Zizi? Like you are one person, you are one patient, inpatient person.
Yep, I called them that.
This was like about 3 weeks ago, a month ago,
yeah.
you know, and it's
He's
like,
impatient to wait in a queue.
Mm,
He's impatient when he sees a lot of people in the store, but
sure.
will be patient for
when I'm
time.
already there.
Will be patient
Okay,
for
I hear
waiting
you.
for somebody because they have to leave and they're running out of time, but
Sure.
yet being patient about the things that he shouldn't be impatient about.
Okay.
Hence, I said he's the most patient,
Impatient
impatient
person.
person.
Yep. Here's your first patient. Please diagnose and tell me what the hell is wrong with me, madam.
Listen, man, like our viewers, I'll tell you one thing. I am a professional. You must pay for the service. I didn't go straight to the
Man.
bed for nothing. So you don't. It's not gonna work. But please, our viewers, in mental health is a complex aspect, and we try and make people aware. But you can't self-diagnose. You can't diagnose yourself just from this episode. We're just talking one aspect now,
Yes.
and we're going all over today. But in the coming sessions, in the coming episodes, we'll be unpacking particularly certain areas. For example, depression. How do we see it? How does it come
Mm,
about?
mm.
Anxiety and all of that. So I'll go into deeper aspects of mental health, and of course, what would be helpful or what would be nice is that if our viewers can let us know what are the things that are impacting their mental health, and what do they want to hear from us, from this segment, the
Be
Momo session.
careful. Be careful what you wish for. All the way from London on your screen right now, in Europe, a friend
So,
of the podcast,
wow.
and actually a lot of us suffer from that. There are a lot of people that are watching right now that have
Yeah,
issues, and it's also that confidence, that lack of confidence. You sit at home, you procrastinate, you need to go and apply, you need to go and be in a particular space in order for you to acquire something that's going to
yeah,
revitalize you. but like you have this thing that keeps on dragging you, and most times you don't even know what it is, up until you sit with Tobbs, and then they start asking you about, like, did you have your childhood trauma that you don't even remember, and all of these things become important. And in most cases, I would like to believe, almost like when you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, all right, they will tell you that you are never cured, or you are never a non-alcoholic alcoholic person. You
You're
are a
always, they say you're always an addict.
you are a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
You could be 10 years into it. So and I think in the future episodes, you are basically going to be arming our viewers with how to cope with the inevitable, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad of the world, instead of saying like, oh, why is it like, happening to me? So I'm quite excited. Like I don't know whether it's showing in my face right now.
I see
And
that
you
we
know
even
what
already
I'm
have
excited
questions being
about?
asked.
Yeah.
But I guess one episode is not enough. Today was more like an intro,
It
who
was an
you are,
intro.
what you do, and you
Yes.
broke down in the choice that you chose, being the Maslow's hierarchy. You
Yeah.
broke down the various levels of human needs, and how each and every single one of them factors your mental ability, your mental health, and all the above. And I must say, yeah, I think an hour is just not enough. I still have to talk about music. I still have to talk about movies. I still have to talk
Man.
about, but like, time is just,
Did we
yeah,
manifest this?
exciting,
Because
exciting. Thank you, Tom.
in pre-production, like when we were talking about, like, about the first, about this episode and this intro, it's like, is the time enough? Are we keeping
So,
time? I'm not gonna point fingers at who said that. Which becomes important, and this is what happens in family, xa ugodukile, it's amazing how much time, just like I was, it was Sunday, I need to pack my bags and go, because you've been unpacking so much, you've been having, moving through the valleys and the peaks of life. There's a sad moment, you remember, oh, the passing of Utetumkulu, and then there's a peak where, like, oh, Chatabukala Nika. So all of
yes.
these things, and it kind of like, for me, mimics what the podcast is and what it's about. So I'm not sure about how much time. There's one comment here from Unabis, and I think it's a question or a request. And I think while you are reading that, I just want to express to our viewers, half the time you see me like not paying attention to the camera. It is a live podcast. The production, the camera, the everything has to be controlled by somebody, and that is my duty up until we get advertisers and we are able to make money and employ people who will be solely responsible for that. But we are happy to do this, and I think Toto and Zizi, like from an entrepreneurial perspective, it's like, get started. It doesn't matter what it is,
Yep.
for the
Keep
longest
saying
time.
that. I keep saying that shit.
But
Get
I was just
started,
about, I
and
was,
and they will catch us on the way. And
Yeah.
and you know what? At the end of the day, this is our time, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
And we are here to express things we love, things we want to
Yes.
share, things we want
Yes.
to educate and build about for
Yeah.
our people. I'm sorry if you will call
it's
for
okay.
our people. Nah?
I mean, we don't have to be apologetic about
Not at all. You know what?
So they will catch us along the way. They will join us along the way, and they will add input and impact on our journey. This I don't think we are here for today. We are here for the today, tomorrow, the future. And Tom's joining us. I must say, it's a great
First
input
lady
to
of the pod.
our new dam, because it's a new dam. It's a new
Yeah, but damn, yeah. And that's what it is. Like, I mean, like I'm sure Toto will be able to speak on it. Like, but like as a creator, and it's one of those things. To say, no, I write all the time. If I'm not writing, I'm doing something. I'm like moving around. But
Sure.
in the midst of all of that chaos, when I sit back and I'm like, oh, I've just recorded something. You know, there's one video, like I mean, like even during COVID, those public service announcement stuff, like during the 10 push-up or 20 push-up challenge. Like a lot of content came out of that, a lot of awareness came of that. And
Mm.
there's this whole thing about chaos being, I don't know, like a fermentation space for creativity to thrive. So I'm just thinking this guy El Gamale in you, Vatem.
We'll find the silver lining. We'll find the silver lining. But I mean, it's like you said, it's a journey. It's a journey. So I think we must not also be anxious too much. Sometimes the pressure is also it's an enemy, yeah, because it prevents us from just be organic and see how things will end up.
That
But
being said, maybe I should go to the music review, and then
yes,
we can jump on
I just
something else, and then the
yeah
film
I
review.
I
We
just
are
I,
way
ju- I just
past our
want
time, but we are here now, and we must do
yes.
it.
yeah I just want to check. I think like there's the message by Olandik
Unwabis.
Onwabisa, where she says, please, next session, there's probably unpacked delirium kubantu abadala as well. We can stop accusing omakhulu ngokhwela
Okwekwe limpempe
imfene.
before.
I got you. I got you, Noah. In next episode, Momo sessions hashtag. Please let's go out there. Go YouTube to corner. Don't forget. Go and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on all the platforms. Momo hashtag Momo sessions. I'll definitely be unpacking that in the next episodes.
And I really want to express to people that probably were anticipating us to be on TikTok as well. We are able to get to TikTok, but like there's we need 1,000 followers in order for us to be able to go live. Individually, people have over 1,000, like Tobbs, for an example. But like now we have the Slyso TV podcast TikTok page. So like that, so that if you're a person who spends more time on TikTok, you can catch us on TikTok. If you are into Facebook, obviously you already are able to catch us, and people who are on YouTube as well, and all the other platforms that are there. Because I mean, like the aim is just to get this information out there. And then lastly, I was reminded, Ricolos, is it was one of those clips. I'm not sure which social media platform it was, but like this old man talking about realizing our purpose and like actually paying attention to it. And this gentleman says that like in the next 100 years, none of everybody that is alive now, hardly except for a kid that's like just being born, will be around. And what are you doing about it? Do you have any impact? You're going to live until you are 50, you're going to live until you are 40. What difference are you going to be making? What is it that you are amassing yourself in to stamp what you are doing? And the three of us right here on this podcast, that is what we are doing, because this is going to live forever. And we talk a whole lot of nonsense, but we are also constructive, so that our grandkids and our kids can say, hey, I can go back and reference something that was said on that podcast. So with that, yeah, man. Yeah, we could easily preach up in here. We could easily preach. Yeah. I have this to bring up. I have this to bring up for users.
Yeah,
And this has to do with this. It's very interesting. We've been talking music for quite a bit, right?
yeah.
You and I, we are leaving that space, and unfortunately, I just need to get to my notes. There are these two gentlemen right here.
Okay, that's right.
These
Okay.
two gentlemen right over here.
That is Sir Pete Rock and Lord Common.
Common.
Lord Common.
Okay.
A Lord Common. I like that.
So, what Caesar is doing here, when I talks, is kind of introducing my segment. So, in this week, please, if you can also add the album cover where you have them there, by the way. So, this week's music review is an album by Common and Pete Rock, who the album came out about two weeks ago or so. So Common is very well known rapper, actor, crush of the ladies. Yes, like my partner has a big crush on Common. Who daddy? Hey,
I saw
Nago,
Tops going
Common.
like this.
Did I know?
I saw
Mazam
Tops
Common
going
go.
like this on
Okay, when you Common go John Wick, I didn't go Common. Like she loves Common, you know. But Common is a Chicago native. Came up underground MC, became he's an artist, truth be told, and I always say I think he's one of the most consistent rap artists I have come across, because I don't recall a single album from Can I Borrow a Dollar to One Day It'll All Make Sense to like Water for Chocolate to Electric Circus to B to all up until
to be.
this album. And then there's Pete Rock. Pete Rock is a renowned hip hop producer, a legend. Pete Rock is Heavy D's cousin, by the way. So a lot of Heavy D
Yeah.
and the Boys songs you heard were produced by Pete Rock. He's they both got Jamaican family from there. So Pete Rock has been a producer in the game. He produced a lot of songs on Nas's first album, Omatic. He's what you call, in terms of the epitome of producers in hip hop, at the level of Dre, at the level of Premier,
Yeah.
at the so he's and they've been friends all these years, you know, and they just decided to make an album. When they announced that they're making an album, it was very exciting for us who are fanatics of the art craft. And we were like, oh shit, what are these two? I mean, Pete Rock, for example, for me personally, he is one of the biggest inspirations for Jay Dilla, who I regard as the greatest producer of all time. And that's Pete Rock. So his style is sampling, and not just sampling music, but sampling words in songs. So this album has been anticipated for quite a while amongst hip hop heads, amongst people who love hip hop. And the album is a Common and Pete Rock, and it's called the Auditorium Volume 1. And having a volume tells you that there's more volumes coming. So that's great news. 14 songs. Yeah, man. I haven't listened to real hip hop, real sample production, hip hop bars, lyrics like this in a very long time. 14 tracks. They also brought in Bilal. Bilal features on 2 tracks. He features on what's that song again?
They played it on.
Yeah. When the sun shines again. Now, what's great about when the sun shines again? It's actually a Curtis Mayfield sample. So the sample is there, and there's another track. We on our way is the Curtis Mayfield sample. My apology. But what's great about when the sun shines again is that the only feature on the album of a rapper is Posthumous. Posthumous, plug one from De La Soul. Got the beard. The only, and he actually, does a verse on there. They actually performed it on what's that show again? The Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not your mainstream album. It's not your. But if ever there was a time when hip hop was kind of questioning where they are in terms of the origins of the scratches and the sampling. It's really like I've been seeing posts. I even saw our boy D Synopsis post about the album, saying that from a producer's ear point of view, like this album is just like Pete Rock. Like, what are you doing? Are you like, why are you so childish about this? It's a great album. It's and you got like it's. I think this album is also, you know that DJ Premier is doing an album with Nas.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. Like they're working. I think it's inspired even that. So I think other producers, because usually like in an album, no one really has one producer. They have like a couple of producers. But like now it's like, no, let's do a collabo. So Premier and Nas are doing an album, by the way, coming out. I think it was inspired by.
They've been flirting for a while.
Pardon?
They've been flirting for a while around that.
But I think this may have like tipped it, like okay, we have to do it. And I even think when I see it, that Nas doing 6 albums with what's his name again, the producer boy.
The craziest motherfucker. What's his name? He even produced from music. He just went from hip hop to go do like neo soul.
His name is coming to me right now. I think Nas doing 6 albums with this boy inspired this. Inspired because they don't even tell you why they decided to do it. They've been friends forever, but they did it anyway. And it's a great Hit Boy.
Hit Boy.
Nas doing 6 albums with Hit Boy in the space of 3 years, I think kind of like may have been the push to start this. Anyway, that's my album review for the week. It's a great album. If you're a hip hop head, please, if you have not listened to it, I even question you being a hip hop head, by the way. Yes, I question you being a hip hop head if you have not listened to this.
I know Tubbs is a house head.
Don't know what it. Tubbs will come together. Tubbs will realize that we are a musical.
You're muted. You're muted there, Tubbs.
Okay. She will realize that.
I'm just going to be on the audience observing very nicely the hip hop people battling it out and talking about it, because me, I'm a deep house all the way. But I will definitely be hooking my sister up because she's definitely on the hip hop side.
Oh wow. Okay, we've got somebody there. And then obviously for house heads as well. I don't know how I missed that. One other legendary producer, DJ Spina, was apparently in the country. And obviously they have a lot of relationships with Kaya FM, for an example. I know that it was organized around like this is somebody whose best friends, like who started off as a producer producing hip hop, to move into house music, to move into hosting parties. If you want to look at the epitome of hosting events, go Google DJ Spina. He's a New York native. That guy is friends with Stevie Wonder. He does annual Stevie Wonder. You definitely know this. He hosts and Stevie Wonder, as old as he is, and it's a house kind of audience. Wow. He rocks up there unannounced. And it just sings along. So I mean, like for anyone who's watching in South Africa right now, you're a producer, you're an artist, taking from what the album that Lusisa is reviewing right now, Pete Rock and Common. These are people, same genre.
Moratorium Volume 1.
Yeah. So what's stopping you from working with the guy Limpopo that you've been meaning to work with because you feel like, they'll match your vocals? You know what I mean? Positive out of it. That's how we go.
That's me on the music review for this week. I'll have more for you in our next episode on the music front. But you know what? Even if you're not necessarily a hip hop head, just lend yourself an ear and just play the album background. It's good music. It's people who are really into music. Yeah. All right. That's me. Thank you very much.
Look there on your screen, sir. Look on your screen, sir.
You posted the link. I can see.
Look there. Who has sold Diamond? from a 2019 single.
Really?
Yeah.
So he sold Diamond on a single.
It is your boy. It
He
is
sold Diamond or he streamed Diamond?
Excuse me?
Did he sell Diamond or he streamed Diamond?
It's sales. They describe it on the one and only source.com, which is where it comes from, by the way.
Whoa.
All of that
People are
information.
selling 10 million records? Because Diamond is 10 million, by the way. Tubbs, yeah. 10 million is Diamond. Not many people have done that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's why they feel the need to.
I'm no hip hop fan, but J. Cole is I mean, one of the good, I guess, guys, you know, so making nice music there.
Yeah, he's learned. He's talking about dormitories and lecture halls, and so you will gravitate towards such a person, won't you?
By the way,
you know what? You know when you won my heart. It was there's a song I can't remember it title. Yeah, there's a song about a cricket smile where he talks about the confidence. That's where I got a smile.
Yeah.
So you do listen to some hip hop. That's great.
She's ahead. This one.
Undercover, clearly.
Imamo was I introduced. Imamo was I introduced.
We'll talk about the psychology of music. Actually, Sisa, we'll talk about the psychology of music and what music does for mental health. How interesting!
I want to hear that.
As in guys, we have the last of the features.
But before we get to the last of the features, we do know that it's Olympics right now, guys, by the way. You know that, right?
It's
the Olympics, the biggest supposed world sports event. And we have 2 medals so far, South Africa, by the way. The Blitzbokke got a bronze on Saturday. And some lady, I don't know, or some man, we also got a bronze for mountain biking. So we have 2 medals so far as South Africa as a country.
Oh, wow.
I just saw a clip. I don't know. I saw a clip Gaga Chad the cloths, and I know he never disappoints when it comes to swimming. So
is Chad still swimming? Is he not old?
I mean, I saw a clip of it, but sometimes, you know, you have to make sure go TikTok, but it's not an old clip, because sometimes they do that. They take a very old clip and then, you know, they put it headlines, whereas it's not actually. So I want to check.
And in the last Olympics, if you recall, the Umbats was still the minister at the time, and he'd be like, Chad Laclos. Like, he could never say Chad Laclos. Why not?
As far as I'm concerned, somebody who stole the show is right here, the grandfather.
No doubt.
The grandfather, Snoop Dogg being part of it. And very interesting. They're just watching like from videos and all kinds of stuff. Speaking of social media platforms, that's the he was there with his granddaughters and all kinds, representing the United States, obviously. And I like the caption that they had. I mean, like, it's right there if you are reading. You'll catch it on the article. We prepare newsworthy stuff for you, by the way. We prepare newsworthy stuff for you to read. So Snoop Dogg was all up in there, and not only that, he will also be commentating and doing reports for a broadcaster in the United States. I think it's NBC, the national broadcaster.
Give me a moment.
Yeah. All right, man. Too busy, all of us. So that's what Snoop is all about. And he was seen in this one on this one clip where he is tying the shoelaces on his granddaughter. So that's quite complex. It's quite busy as far as the Olympics are concerned. And I know that we also have. I'm just trying to find very, very unfortunate, man, for one of our of our Olympians participate. That's the ladies that are participating there. We had a very unfortunate one. Her name is Caitlin Rotskrats. I don't know if I'm getting the pronunciation of the name correct. The name is Caitlin Rotskrats. Okay. They had an MRA. If you remember, there was the whole torch bearing, and she injured herself there, so she couldn't take part. But the doctor said there's no need to operate, and it's just crossing fingers for our South African girl that she actually recovers in time. So yeah, this is us. Now we are left with
the movie review.
The movie review on the Slyso TV podcast. Wherever you are, the interaction has been waiting. I told you this is like a family outing. Like, what do you do on a Monday? On Monday, you want a glass of wine, you want to catch up with friends and find out, like, how the weekend was.
You had a hectic day at work, and you are like just easing yourself into the week, and you just want to come back home and maybe have some good conversation.
Some good conversation,
team, right?
Without leaving your home.
Yes,
that's what's nice about it. Like, you can do this chilling at home, and you can reach people like every and anyway. I think maybe we should get to the feature.
Yeah.
So this week, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, standing for obviously Axel Foley, the character that Eddie Murphy has been playing since 1988, I believe. Since 1984, to be precise. And okay, I have a lot to say about this particular movie. It was a good movie. I would say part average. $150 million budget, and the first time for the franchise Beverly Hills Cop to go to a streaming platform. So Netflix have bought the rights, and Netflix produced this fourth of the Beverly Hills Cop called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And so this is a movie we grew up with. Eddie Murphy as the main character, as Axel Foley. He's the cop from Detroit, and somehow some murder case lands him in LA, Beverly Hills Cop. He befriends two of his two cops there who end up becoming his mates, and they solve a crime. So the first two movies were produced by a super blockbuster producers, Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. Don Simpson is late, by the way, but Jerry Bruckheimer still carries. This is the same producers who did The Last Boy Scout, did Bad Boys. If you can think of any major movie, you will know Jerry Bruckheimer, but they're more action-based type. Pirates of the Caribbean is also them. There's so many movies. So the first two franchises of the movie, Eddie was still a young starting out actor there, comedian, and they did so well, produced by them. The second one was even produced by Tony Scott. Tony Scott, he is a major producer, but like Enemy of the State, The Last Boy Scout, Beverly Hills Cop 2, geez, any movie you can think of that is back then. And then the third Beverly Hills Cop was the most underwhelming one. Didn't do well at all. It actually, in the franchise of the first three, it was the one that did the worst. And that was in 19, what year? I think 95, 94. And so basically in a 20-year gap from Beverly Hills Cop 3, all of a sudden, Jerry Bruckheimer comes back as a producer, by the way, and they're doing this Beverly Hills Cop XLF. When I watched it, I thought the movie was not great. I thought the movie was average. But what is noticeable for me about the movie was I felt that Eddie Murphy didn't enjoy playing Axel Foley anymore. And it stood out because I've seen Eddie Murphy in movies in the last couple of years where he's, like he did Dolomite, he acted the shit out of that movie. I saw him in the movie with Nia Long, a Netflix movie that he's that dad. And here I just saw a guy who's playing a character that he feels is no longer his character anymore. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was okay. They spent a lot of money. I just think the money that Netflix offered was too compelling for Eddie Murphy to turn it down. Which goes to the weirdest next point, is that they've announced that they're doing a part 5. Jerry Bruckheimer and Eddie Murphy.
What?
Yeah. There's a part 5 that is coming. So the original producer, Jerry Bruckheimer, and Eddie Murphy have kind of like undertoned announced that they're doing a 5th one. And I'm just going back to why Axel F is not stand out for me. Firstly, he has a daughter, Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, rather. And you want to know who's the mother of this child, because in 94, he seemed to have had like a little repertoire with the lady at the,
with the ladies, yeah.
at the fun park, whatever it is. What's the name of that lady? I think it's Cassel Bavo. Or no, it's not. It's Teresa Randall. Teresa Randall is the lady in question. And they seem to, so you're asking yourself throughout the whole time, did Teresa and this guy get married in that 20 year, and now they have this child? Like it's and she's a lawyer. So in 20 years, you make a child and they're a lawyer. There's so many gaps.
Isn't that part of the reason why they are doing a part 5?
We don't know yet. But it's just weird that Eddie Murphy has this daughter who is in her 20s who is angry at him because he chose to stay in Detroit as opposed to move to LA with them. She's a lawyer. Listen, if it was the first of the movie, it may have been, but given the fact it's the 4th one, there's history behind this movie. There are many loopholes. It seemed forced. It seemed like Netflix said, hey, how about we do another Beverly Hills Cop? Come on, Eddie. Come on, man. Join us in this one. And he was like, how much are you going to pay? Oh, we have a budget of $150 million. And
That's
he was
crazy.
like, so I get $50 million, really? That's exactly how it feels to me. You could tell his heart wasn't in it. You could tell he. Have you guys watched it, by the way?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I have. I actually recently saw it, and I can definitely resonate with the disconnect. There was definitely a disconnect in terms of just the acting there, you know, and that whole.
He didn't seem like he wanted to be there.
No, it was like you're saying. It was just kind of like, you know what, I'm getting paid for this, so I must show up and I
might as well.
Yeah, I didn't feel like who Eddie was being Eddie. You know, like, you know this guy, you know the character, like he brings. I just felt like it was just one of those like tick a box. Yeah, okay, I showed up. We're good.
So yeah, that's the movie review. And the thing is, like, there's so much nostalgia there for us. That's why we watched it. You know, we grew up on this. We wanted to
the energy, everything, the fashion, the plush cars, everything that came
definitely
that came
not.
in.
It was not his best work. I mean, even just using humor, like, I didn't feel that coming through. I was just waiting for like these jabs a little bit, for Eddie coming in with his sense of humor. It was just not. Yeah, it was just not there. It was
You know,
too forced the script.
he was interviewed. I watched one of the interviews where he was. I mean, like you can see, even pick up like the energy. The way he was talking about, like, I mean, like, I think the interviewer was asking him, so are we seeing any of the theatrics like from the previous installments of the franchise? And he was like, no, you need to realize, Axel Foley has grown now, he's old. And he explains that, like, he's
He's old, but
not
still a
doing a
detective.
lot of
How?
action. Still not a lot of action. He even explains in his own words that, like, now he's driving more, he's spending more time in the car than being out there and doing what he's supposed to do. So I guess, and we all the three of us share the same sentiments. But one other thing, like, I probably might want to ask you, when I say the timing of it all. You have Will Smith and Martin on Bad Boys. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the latest
I
installment.
have
But in terms
twice.
of the PR that went into that, being in Mexico City, doing like pop up, what your movie premieres, people realize in the middle of the movie that, like, actually. Will Smith is in the movie, so it kind of like speaks to where we are, I think, in terms of creating as well, because now you have people that are embracing social media. If you remember, when Will turned 50, he was doing all of these crazy things that he was missing.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the success of Bad Boys, and the fact that they're even talking about doing a next one as
I,
well.
I,
And the
I, I,
timing of Eddie Murphy and his biggest franchise that gave him his name, about 30 years. And I think it's the same. No. Just
28 years. The
slightly
first was
less.
84.
I think slightly less for Bad Boys.
But you know what? Do you know it's the same producers? Jerry Bruckheimer and Dom Simpson are also the same producers of Bad Boys, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Same
Let's follow the money.
producers of Bad Boys are the same as Beverly Hills Cop. But what you're talking about the fact that Will Smith is like, so the difference between the two movies in terms of the stars, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and Eddie Murphy, right? Martin Lawrence and Will Smith seem inspired and want to do this. I feel Eddie Murphy is no longer inspired to play Axel Foley.
Yeah.
It's being called out of
what
retirement.
I took from watching. He didn't seem inspired. He doesn't seem like he wants to be Axel Foley anymore. Whereas Will Smith still likes being Mike Lowry. Martin Lawrence still likes being what's his name? Marcus Burnett. He still likes being Marcus Burnett. You can tell, and that was so. I mean, I'll do just for you. I'll do the Beverly Hills Cop review next week, our next session, because I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. I loved it, actually.
Yeah.
Hence, I watched it twice already. I watched it at the cinema, and then I watched it in that other. Yeah.
You did a bit of this shit, nigga, so we know what to watch as well.
Let's get to the trailer. Let's get to the trailer, Steels. Hit them with the trailer.
Oh yeah, that's where we're going. I've got, like, there's so much. Like, my OCD, right? Like, where you over prepare, and we anticipated that, like, for the first time we going over the 1 hour 30, 1 hour 34
This is our
minutes,
longest
right?
episode, and I love it.
What's this?
It's our longest episode, and I love it because, like, clearly we don't have enough time.
Somebody came in and they claimed their space, and that's what it's telling me. That's what it's telling me. Because the two of us will be bored of each other. It's like, nah, nigga, I'll see you sometime, some other time. That's exactly where I'm.
Came in and I disrupted the entire Slyso podcast TV.
Usifaka inspiration since 1 hour 30 minutes more.
Disruptive marketing. Disruptive marketing. That's what we're trying to explain with what Will
Yes.
and Martin do.
Yeah.
You know, which is where the world is right now. But anyway, getting to the trailer of Axel.
Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day here in Beverly Hills.
What the hell was that?
Let me guess. Foley.
Did you say Foley? Foley! You stole a helicopter!
I didn't realize that you couldn't really fly a helicopter. Otherwise, I would have came up with a different idea. I told you it was a bad idea. Oh, hey! He shot my rotor off. Shit. You know, this is very embarrassing. You know, part of me rather get locked up than get put in this little Fisher-Price-looking squad car. Y'all are the Lego cops.
Jane, hey, this is your father. Before you hang up, I'm in town. I've been arrested. Hello?
You sure y'all paying y'all's bills? Because this phone don't work.
This isn't my first time in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I saw that. 84, 87, and then 94. But this place has changed a bit.
What brings you back to 90210?
I got a call from Billy. He's in trouble now.
What do you want from me?
I want you to be a cop again. You gotta do something.
Axel, if you damage any city property...
You're in a snowplow?
Yeah, we in a damn snowplow. What's the problem? A lot of blind spots in the snowplow.
I'm on an undercover mission with Wait, Foley. You're pissing off a lot of people.
That means we're getting close. Y'all safe? Everybody safe?
There's no seatbelt in the middle.
The hell with the seatbelt? We're on the edge.
We're gonna need some backup.
Whoa! What are you doing?
I'm getting us some backup.
God, I missed you, Axel.
Yeah. Trailer enticing, very... Listen, I'm not going to try and kill the movie. It's...
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about if, let's say, you had never watched Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3, and someone just plays... Let's say you play for a 15-year-old Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, and you put it on. They'll be entertained.
Sure, I feel you.
They'll be entertained with never watching the other three. But I think for people who are like over 30 or 35 and up, who would have watched the first two, 1, 2, and 3, would have found this one underwhelming.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the 15-year-old doesn't really know Eddie Murphy besides, oh, he sounds like the voice from Shrek, the donkey.
From Shrek.
you know, that's Donkey. Or, oh, I think I may have seen Nutty Professor, but like, so in fairness to them, I must say that I think they try to tick the boxes of the current audience, which is the maybe you may not have seen it. But what they did not do is intrigue, entertain, and blow the over 35 minds out of it. They didn't like wow us. That's
totally.
And Eddie didn't seem like he really wanted to do it, but the money was compelling.
Of course, you got 10 kids. You got 10 kids, nigga. Where the hell do you think you're gonna feed them?
You gotta get the bag, man. You gotta
get the bag.
And the quality was compromised because of the bag. Because the budget is 150 million. I looked it up, but I do. And I'm asking, where did that 150 go? Clearly, it was salaries.
It was those cars they were blowing out there because it was quite a lot and it was senseless as well. It was not like Bruce Willis and Die Hard, where you know that like, okay, cool, kind of like makes sense. Here, you blowing out, you chasing some guys who are on a motorbike, like yeah.
They
So
try too much. Also, try too hard to like bring the action, and it's just like it feels forced. It's like okay,
it was technical too. Yeah, yeah.
But you know what? Kudos to them in the transforming from the silver screen to the video on demand screen, being Netflix, saying, you know what, I want a piece of that action as Netflix, and I'm gonna pay for it. So now the Beverly Hills franchise is no longer a Silver Star or a Warner Brothers. It's now a Netflix owned.
And Netflix, which could be where the budget comes from.
The business element of it.
Crazy.
Netflix now, because you must remember, Netflix is so new that they're making new stuff. But when they start buying a franchise from the past, they embedded themselves in the history of stuff.
Feel you there. Guys, we've been talking forever. We're going for 2 hours. Here's one for you.
Wow.
Like, there's always, like I said, that like I over prepared.
And you're full of that. You're full of that. Uza lawyer Zaki, what he should do next after being expelled?
He got 21 days. He got 21 days. Jacob is my man. There's being constructively disruptive, and then there's Obab.
It's like when is the time for retirement, guys? Now I'm concerned about Udada being in the streets and politicking. And I take care of himself and his health and his that situation, and just relax, enjoy life.
This guy has no time at all. But I think for South Africans, because like we try to get on serious news, like stuff that is happening as well. So if you didn't know, no, Dr. Jacob Zuma has officially been expelled from the ANC, bringing the party into disrepute. I think one of it is like campaigning for another party while he's still a member of another one, which is like a no-brainer. But I watched some of the what do they call it, political analysts talking about it's long overdue.
He flighted the rules of the ANC by campaigning and promoting for an opposition party against his party.
Against
That's
his party,
the biggest charge.
Yeah.
So he's broken like the code of conduct, basically.
Yeah.
By any chance.
And what I fail to understand is why it has taken so long, number one. Number two, why does he care to be part of? Like he should have said, "Hey, peace out, to shop, move on." But I just think he likes chaos, like a soup.
I think that's one.
He benefits, like so. It's like what the benefits of being a member is he not forfeiting something?
No, there are none. There are none as a member. His benefits of being president of the country, so he will still get the lifetime salary, the security, the cars,
the blue lights.
And normally ANC guys, they can't even pay their staff, so there's no lifetime benefits from the ANC for being a member.
Okay.
But what it will do to his name now is going to be the expelled former president.
Former president.
Yeah, that's great. Like speaking to the legacy as far as the ANC is concerned, but then again, there's the MK party with all its alleged flaws. I'm reporting, so I can't speak to that as if it's factual. Like I was in the room.
Don't stop me. Do not stop me.
Hey. Okay, let's move right along. You see, this is first lady of the podcast. This is what happens here, and I thought we were gonna be constructive and try to see things like differently. But obviously, when it comes to politics, Zizi and I, we
please, man. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
fine. Okay, guess what I have for you then?
Oh.
I saw that.
That's Sakila Moleshe. He's got a show coming up.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I think for people that follow him on social media platforms, you can go find out is the still a member of, because like I remember when we would have this conversation, it's like, yeah, and like you're actually an ex-member of Goldfish. It's like, man, but like they've been on tour, they just released an album, and it's one of those people, by the way, it's one of the people we want to have on the podcast so we can talk about
He's been
this
waiting
young
for me
boy.
to say, okay, here's the date. He wants to be on the show.
From this young man,
he wants
from
to populate this environment.
Yeah, from this young man, Yase Dikeni, who went and studied music in the Western Cape. Immersed himself, met up with some friends, and they formed Goldfish, and they toured the world. I think it was about 18, 20 when it did that, but like the full story will wait for when we have a conversation with him. But for now, you can just go watch the follow that Sakila Moleshe and go check out the movie. He's been under the tutelage of people like Abo Tata Ozim Nawana and a whole lot of other people. He plays what people perceive to be popular white music, but his roots are in jazz. So yeah, that's it.
I was wondering because Goldfish, I was like, Goldfish is
Zim Nawana.
Yeah. He's a
Phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal.
So I think honorary to our new member of this membership, may you please close for us.
What was that? What? Hold on, just say that again. Honorary to.
I think he wanted to say honorable member.
No, I did not want to say honorable member. I said our honorable to this membership member. I think it would be awesome for you to give us a closing remark and talk to us and give us some motivation for the week ahead in your world, in your language, in how you can inspire us. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
We even have the flag of the podcast behind you.
I mean, no pressure. No pressure, ne?
None at all.
I mean, first of all, I must say thank you so much. I'm so honored. You guys are legends, and in your fields, it's just so amazing to spend time with you guys and have conversations. I'm learning myself. I mean, this podcast has just been an eye opener and very educational for me. The musical, knowledge that Cisa's bringing, Slyso bringing his, just knowledge, general knowledge in terms of just political space and what's happening, current affairs. So for me, it's definitely a journey of learning for sure. But for the sake of today and then leaving people in my mind, I just had this thing that said, sometimes we over prepare, we overthink, we over plan, we over research, and we never actually just launch the thing, whatever it is, the business, just go and enroll yourself into that course, whatever that you want to do. And one of my favorite brands, because I'm a runner again, also and a gym fanatic, Nike. They couldn't have said it better with their, what do you call it, the slogan.
Pay your fine. Yeah.
They just call you into action so nicely for me. Just do it. Abafuna excuses. They don't want to. Your life is busy. Your schedule was too busy. This and that. Nike just says, if you want to get fit, you want to be the best, you want to, follow your dreams, whatever it is, just do it. So I guess, Sisa and Slyso, I'm daring you, myself, and, our viewers, whatever it is that you want to do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Wow.
Have you read Phil Knight? Phil Knight is the creator of Nike, by the way. His name is Phil Knight. He has a book called Shoe Dog. Talks about his journey from being a teenager to how he got to Nike where it is. Have you read that, Tops?
No.
I'm going to send it to you. His book is called Shoe Dog. The founder of Nike, the owner of Nike, his name is Phil Knight.
Okay.
Do you have an audio? Do you have an audio file?
Man, forget audio, read, nigga. Come on.
But that I want to put down as one of our future topics as well. With innovation, for an example, we type on phones that have auto correction and all kinds of stuff. So grammar is out the window. It's almost like we're going full circle to Makazi again. Like right now. If you were to put, are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Oh.
That should be interesting.
Whoa.
And then last
I know a lot more than a 5th grader.
Maybe wiser than a 5th grader.
In fact, yeah, there's a difference
I know
there.
A lot more. Because there's no substitute for experience, ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wiser, because what makes wiser experience, right?
But a 5th grader has not done grade 12. I have.
If a fifth grader is given the same amount of time that you will have lived, probably go to a grade 5, but like experiences around him would put it in a space, probably put him in a space where
I dispute.
Look, I mean, it's debatable. That's a debatable.
No. It like. Yeah, sorry.
I also grew up in apartheid, by the way. So there's things that they don't know, Bon.
There's what? You dabbled in what?
I also grew up in apartheid. There are things that they don't know, Bon.
Yeah.
So
but
they
they'll tell you what they know.
me.
They'll tell you that you are not technical savvy, technology savvy, and they are, and they know a lot more. Because they can learn the space.
And given that 100 years we were talking about that each of us have to live. And last word, Zizi?
I co pasted in 5 years as school. Who do you think you are?
If you get motor garage. What do you do then? Obama and fucking what? Because mom would chill. So you must understand in the 5th grade.
Take 5.
Oh no.
Family, thank you so much. We are close to clocking 2 hours on the pause on the pod. Toz, the Tops. You're first lady of the podcast. Like, you're gonna have so many AKAs now. Thank you so much. I think speaking truly, it is we are mostly in the art space, so we're regurgitating or we are coming with the stuff from, like, I know, right? Yeah,
I've accepted. No, she's one of us.
Right?
Is at the same level.
And
I'm trying to contain myself. This Dimasam for the first episode. I'm trying to just, appear sane.
Yeah. But guys, thank you so much. To the viewers out there, to the people who've been with us, we'll see you in 2 Mondays from now, because we have to spend this time doing other things. And by the way, follow all of us, the podcast as well, if you want professional consultations with Tops around the whole psychology space as well. She's doing very wonderful work. As I said, when I read her profile, I was like, you did what? You do what? You have all of these things, and all of it, what I love about it and what we agreed on is that we are gravitating, we are doing something that we are passionate about. It's not like we are here for the bag, we're here to make money. Money will come, but right now it is making sure that, like, we share with you, the viewer, whatever we feel should be passing you in this realm, in this particular time. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your warm welcome. Let's do this again.
That's what's up, kids.
2 weeks from now.